Native American Indians, and speckled Israelites being Israelite foreigners, scattered across the four corners of the earth, including within America, Babylon the Great, the main place for our captivity, and we are the Most High Yahweh's chosen people of the nation of Israel. So without further ado, as always, in the Lashon Kodash, all right, being a holy tongue, as in a Paleo-Hebrew, being an ancient Hebrew, I'm going to give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is the God ever living, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baruch Chodash, which is all praise to the Heavenly Father Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, whom was our strength and our Redeemer, and our light and our salvation. In the same tongue, I'm going to utter my Shana Kabadim, Laha Sequanium, Shal, Gadawar Rakab, meaning double honors to the apostles and elder bishops, great millstone, and Shalom, honors and salutations to by Yashid Abadah, meaning the house of David, of the 1/3 elect of Israel, along with the rest of the 1/3 elect men, women, and children of Israel. All right, fellow servant Malak Rayab, back at it again with another lesson through the spirit of prophecy, being the testimony of our Lord and Savior, Hamashiach Habashai, who the masters of the world ignorantly refers to, Jesus Christ. And it's another World War III update, being that all wars are bankers' wars on behalf of the Zionist bankers, the biblical Amalekites, further drawing these nations out into this last world's war. All right, which is why we keep hearing about these rumors of wars, all right, including these trade wars between DJT on the screen here, and his foes, all right, his adversaries of the whore America, Babylon the Great, that currently still sits upon many waters, as in many governments, all right, preceding Revelation 17 and 15, all right. So this is all a CNBC or CNBC article in the politics section entitled, DJT says he couldn't care less if foreign automakers raise prices due to tariffs. Now I'm going to explain why, this statement, is very reckless, narcissistic statement. As further confirms that the self-proclaimed white man Esau Edom is a demonic child. As it speaks about in Sirach, Ecclesiastes 10 and 16, how it says, woe be unto thee when thy king is a child. And this is because this is the mentality of this self-proclaimed white man, all right, whose biblical identity is Esau Edom. The devil the Bible speaks of is that he has a very pompous, presumptuous, narcissistic mindset, okay, in which, he is emboldened to believe that everyone should just subdue themselves to his will, all right, despite, the ramifications of his actions, because, this statement further confirms that he doesn't care about the lingering effects of the trade war on the U.S. taxpaying dollars, whom are also the consumers of this whore, America, Babylon the Great, right? It's further keeping this beast system alive economically, all right? So then I'm going to go into more detail in the article and bring out a few additional articles to further expound on that point. To further confirm that this statement further confirms that this imminent economic collapse in America, Babylon the Great, is orchestrated, all right, by the bankers through his administration. So it says, President DJT told NBC News in an interview Saturday that he would not fire anyone involved in a Signal group chat where military attack plans were inadvertently divulged to a journalist, and later added he couldn't care less if automakers raised prices due to new tariffs, because it had came out, that secret war plans against Yemen on behalf of, Trump's team have been leaked to a journalist of The Atlantic, a secret, or in this case, rather, a chief editor journalist based out of The Atlantic news platform. And, DJT had denied it, what I'm saying? But, he's really been doubling down on his stance in this, these provoked wars, all right, including geoeconomically through the tariffs and so forth, and these war provocations around the so-called Middle East, specifically around the areas of the Strait of Hormuz and the Suez Canal, where he's been provoking, these attacks, him through NATO, on behalf of, the Mossad, on behalf of the state of Israel against those Iranian proxy wars, those Iranian proxy armies, all right, attacking their drones or whatnot, all right, which, the Houthi rebels have been attacking U.S. warships in that area, all right, around the Suez Canal, those shipping lanes, around the, near the, within the Suez Canal and the Strait of Hormuz, all right, which is very critical into the, the economy of America and the global economy, for the fact that at least 20 to 30% of the Earth's global oil supply, comes from that area. Okay, which within those territorial waters that's governed by Iran, Oman, and the United Arab Emirates. Okay, and if that would, so him saying that he doesn't, I'm going to further explain why, his this statement that he made is reckless in terms of him saying that he doesn't care about the consumer prices, raising due to the tariffs, because the tariffs, have been applied to, critical imports or exports that America imports, because America is the biggest, is more of a, America is not a producing so-called country. It's not a producing corporation. It's the contrary. All right. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail in this article, jumping down to the section here towards the bottom of the article. Let me see. Oh, wow. Look at that. And there's number Satan, man. This article is working just fine now. Wow. Look at that. Give me 1 second. Go ahead and go back into it. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to jump down. All right, to this section here. It says, asks what his recent message was to motor industry CEOs and whether he had warned them against raising prices. He said, the message is congratulations, which he's being facetious. He said, if you make your car in the United States, you're going to make a lot of money. If you don't, you're going to have to probably come to the United States, because if you make your car in the United States, there is no tariff. And a tariff is just a fancy word for a tax. So it says, when pressed if he told CEOs not to raise prices, as reported in the Wall Street Journal, he added, no, I never said that. I couldn't care less if they raised prices, because people are going to start buying American-made cars. He continued, I couldn't care less. I hope they raise their prices, because if they do, people are going to buy American-made cars. We have plenty. And that's just a, very childish, narcissistic statement that really lacks logic. Okay, because there's no merit behind that statement that would substantiate the fact that, or even suggest that it's it's a sure thing that these producers, manufacturing CEOs and so forth would succumb to his threats. All right, geoeconomical threats and full-fledged war threats. All right, through Esau's military, which they recently, for example, threatened Iran. Following a letter that Trump read to Iran, where they threatened full-fledged war against Iran if they didn't surrender their nukes. All right, case in point. And this is, but yet, the U.S. had just recently indulged in a nuclear missile test themselves. It's on the Kansas City Star platform. It says U.S. military fires nuclear missile test more powerful than anybody. I may come back to this article. It just further confirms the hypocritical, pompous, narcissistic, self-entitled mentality the self-proclaimed white man has, which is similar to a child. Is it references, the nature of this childish king in Sirach 10, Ecclesiastes 10:16. All right. So, so from there, Salakia, let me go back up. All right, I'm gonna jump down to, I'm going to jump back up here. All right, he said, after interviewing an aide to the president, followed with NBC News to say that DJT was referring specifically to foreign car prices. NBC News reported earlier this week that foreign auto parts would also be taxed at 25%, even if the vehicles they go into are assembled domestically. Companies that import vehicles under the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement will get special consideration until the government establishes a process for levying the 25% duties, according to the White House. All right, it says the president also said the tariffs will be permanent. It will be permanent. It says absolutely. He said they're permanent. Sure, the world have been ripping off the U.S. for the last 40 years and more, and all we're doing is being fair. And frankly, I'm being very generous. He said. All right. It said Trump's tariff announcement on Wednesday came just weeks before his planned April 2nd Liberation Day, when tariffs on a variety of consumer goods. You see that? He said when tariffs on a variety of consumer goods are set to take effect. Okay. So this further confirms that these tariffs are not just affecting automobile prices, where he just generalized that statement, of automobile prices just being, by just simply implying that automobile prices, or hinting that automobile prices would be the only, prices affected. But really, it's all consumer goods that will be affected by these tariffs. Okay. That have been applied on the imports of these such goods that we've been getting from Canada, Mexico. All right. China. And speaking of Canada, this individual, the Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney, recently said that Trump's tariffs were unjustified, and that the old relationship that they had with the U.S., based on deepening integration of their economies and tight security military cooperation, is over. And that's very vital to this U.S. economy, which is already over $36.6 trillion in debt and plummeting, and set to collapse, for the fact that, America imports a lot of energy, products from Canada, right, and these other foreign, countries and so forth, especially, our neighboring countries such as Canada and Mexico, all right, that is used to, provide heat, heating supplies and electricity supplies. So that further confirms that electricity price is going to go up, gas price is going to go up, and everything that's tied to energy, all right, and the oil. Okay, which, is further, aligned with the further war provocations, not just geoeconomically, but even, the provoked wars, through Esau's military, all right, on areas that we get a lot of our oil from, all right, as explained around the Strait of Hormuz and the Suez Canal area, all right. So this is just a quick article, further explaining how his tariffs are going to further, lead into hyperinflation and eventually a collapsed economy, because this failing economy in the U.S. is, can't survive for very much longer. And that was all orchestrated by Esau. So this is on Investopedia.com. It says, what is petroleum? Why it's important and how to invest in it. It says, petroleum, also called crude oil, is a naturally occurring liquid found beneath the Earth's surface that can be refined into oil, right, which is also known as a fossil fuel. So basically, I'm going to continue. It says, a fossil fuel, petroleum, is created by the decomposition of organic matter over time and used as fuel to power vehicles, heating units, and machines, and can be converted into plastics. It says, because the majority of the world relies on petroleum for many goods and services, it says the petroleum industry is a major influence on world politics and the global economy. All right, because petroleum is, is essentially the oil that is drilled from underneath the ground, otherwise known as unprocessed crude oil, from petroleum. All right, which is used to be refined and export within different types of fuel. All right, such as diesel and so forth. And a lot of this petroleum is used to make a lot of vital products, that are vital to the U.S. economy, which I'm going to go ahead and get in this similar article. All right, so on Rankin Energy Corporation platform, it says, what is crude oil and what are petroleum products? And it's already been explained what crude oil and petroleum are. All right, which was essentially the oil that, that is, exported. All right, the majority of which is imported by America. All right, is actually used to create products. All right, so that oil, is drilled from underneath the ground. All right, from the crude oil or petroleum, and it's refined as the oil that is used to provide fuel, and that's going to further increase gas prices. All right, it's just all part of Esau's Hegelian dialectic. Death by a thousand cuts, pressure from above and pressure from below. So this is I'm just going to run through this briefly run through this list of petroleum made products. All right. And to just further, expound on the fact that these particular products are vital to the U.S. economy. So including diesel fuels, I mentioned, motor oil. All right. Shalom Maki Abashim Mishabrakata. That's the elder brother, Bakwashia. All right. Shalom to Akim. You got Akim and a few Akwath maybe tuning in. All right. So you got the diesel fuel, you got the motor oil, you got dresses. All right. All right, rubbing alcohol, all right, which is useful, for first aid kit purposes, for wounds and so forth. What you got? What else? Mops, umbrellas, roofing. Speaking of roofing, associated with housing, the tariffs that Trump's been applying has also been applied to lumber. Lumber is used for architecture and so forth. Creating homes, and that's another sign that mortgage rates are going to further increase. So once again, it's all a part of Esau's Hegelian dialectic. So along with roofing, you have what else is on here? Antifreeze. So obviously, we all need antifreeze, okay, for our vehicles to prevent them from overheating. You see, refrigerators. So these tariffs, being applied on energy imports such as oil. You know what I'm saying? Further provides heating and electricity supplies, which is vital in homes. Okay, it's going to further increase these prices, man. It's all a part of it. Once again, all a part of the Hegelian dialectic. So by him saying, let me go back to the initial article. Okay, so by him saying that he couldn't care less if foreign automakers raise prices due to tariffs, it further explained what he really means by that. And that is not him not caring about increased prices is not just exclusively for auto parts. It's for all consumer goods that are affected by the tariffs, man. I've been further explained in this lesson. So I'm going to segue over to this first precept. All right, Salaki for the delay and bring out the precepts, but Spirit just had me go ahead and provide that little quick synopsis on or introduction, on how geopolitics and geoeconomics, okay, or the role in which geopolitics and geoeconomics further plays on this already plummeting U.S. economy, which will eventually lead into a collapse. All right, and this information going to go over a lot of people's heads because, Trump never explicitly said that he doesn't care if all consumer good prices are increase, and thus also, acknowledging that he doesn't care if the economy collapses. And this leads into this precept, Sirach 10:1. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Okay. And a judge is, somebody who, enacts punishments. Okay. For offenses. All right. Maybe Esau likes to create rules and then bend them. Okay. Case in point. So this is why he is immoral. He's vile, profane. Okay. And he's not fit to rule this earth. Okay. That's why this earth is in desperate need of new management, which can only be done righteously. Okay. That's why it says in Second Ezra, the 14th chapter, around the 17th verse, how this earth, will be dying by age because this devil is ruling it, man. Okay, contaminating every damn thing. The air, through the aluminum and whatever other harmful chemicals and metals he's been spraying through the chemtrails, weakening our immune systems, making us more susceptible to his biochemical and biological warfare. Putting goddamn fluoride in the water, in which I believe was it Utah. One of the only states that recently banned fluoride in the water. Okay. But he's been, fluoride, and the fluoride is essentially like a pesticide, man. Further confirming, he looks at that further, lines up with how, Amalek, the the chief family of the Edomites looks at people, the vast majority as goyim, bottomless cattle, sheep, okay, stupid, worthless people. And that's why they're not expecting people to be privy to this information. They know it's going to go over a lot of people's heads because they're stupefied, man. They're Edomitized and traumatized. Okay. All right. They're under what? They're under Esau's enchantments. So they don't see what he's doing. Why? Because they haven't ultimately been given that eye salve, okay, to understand the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, okay, which are only given to the elect of Israel, to understand prophecy, okay, which is the testimony of Yahweh Shai, the Messiah. All right. So read this again. Sirach 10:1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. What is prudent? All right. Prudent is basically a synonym. Another synonym for being wise. All right. Making sound decisions, avoiding risks, being, a reasonable, thinker, you can't reason with a beast, and that's Esau Edom. He's a beast. Okay. So there's no sound judgment or forward thinking or caution within his decision making. He just does shit, man, at the expense of many lives. And that's what Trump's statement echoed, man. He said he doesn't care if the, consumer prices increases. And he said it politically, because that's what these politicians do. They tell white lies. And that's really a characteristic of the Edomites. Is Esau, Edom, a subcline white man, the devil the Bible speaks of, is a forked tongue, where he'll like it says in Psalm 55:21, he speaks it words smoother than butter, but he's hiding war under his tongue the whole time. Meaning what? He has an ulterior motive. While he's speaking, he's whispering these sweet nothings in people's ears, man. Getting them to lower their guards before the point of attack. Case in point. So this is Sirach 10:2. It says, as a judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. See, read that again. As a judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Mean what? As a master is, so is a servant. As it says in Wisdom of Solomon 18:11. As I said here in this particular paragraph in this article, jump back up. It says, following a week of headlines about signal tariffs in Greenland, the president waved off concerns that his agenda is causing volatility on Wall Street or decreasing consumer confidence. Because that's what Esau wants people to believe, that these tariffs are not by any shape or form, by any means, threatening consumerism, which it is. It's been further explained in this lesson. It says, following a week of headlines about Signal, as in a Signal app, all right, that, his team got caught leaking the secret Yemen war plans within. So it says, following a week of headlines about Signal, tariffs, and Greenland, the president waved off concerns that his agenda is causing volatility on Wall Street or decreasing consumer confidence, pointing to polling that shows that the share of Americans who believe the country is on the right track is at record high. So why do these people, the vast majority of Americans, believe that the country is on the right track? Because they trust in oppression. Okay, it speaks about in Psalm 62:10. All right, and that precept is actually more so talking about Jake, but collectively, people are under that same enchantment. Okay, believing in, following the ruler's favor. Okay, as it says in Proverbs 29:26, and many will follow the ruler's favor. So that's why people have been, so emotionally invested in America, because they want to believe in something. And this is why a lot of these right-wing Edomites, view Trump as their Messiah, their savior. You see, for further example, so this is, let me go and get a quick precept to expound on that point in the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 12. It says, if a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. See that? So that just further confirms that the majority of this world are wicked. Why? Because they just haven't simply been blessed with that eye salve. Okay, there's only been, preordained to be bestowed upon the elect of the nation of Israel, which the Israelites, all right, are the chosen people of the Lord. The only holy, meaning separate, and righteous people and spiritual people the Lord created. The Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahshua created. So only they, the elect of them, will receive the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, and thus prophecy and understand, the information is being brought out in this lesson. All right. And everything is going on in totality, in terms of prophecy. Okay. Which further confirms why, Esau's the devil and why his empire is crumbling before our very eyes before he eventually gets destroyed. All right. And replaced by, and him and his people were replaced by the Israelites to rule this earth in righteousness. Otherwise, this earth is, said in St. Matthew, the 24th chapter, let me get that real quick. St. Matthew 24 and verse 13. Let me see, Salakia. 22, Salakia. Start at verse 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be," because we're coming in a time of great famine, man. And these trade wars are further contributing into this prophecy. Okay. All right. So, by way of the threat of famine, people are going to, be in a heavy sense of distress and anguish and resentment towards Esau's government in America. And they're going to further fulfill the prophecy of, civil war. Second Ezra, the 15th chapter. All right. Second Ezra 15 and 16 specifically, which speaks about the sedition among men. All right. Amongst these wicked, vile governments, these wicked, corrupt, vile governments, especially America, Babylon the Great. And that's gonna cause Esau to justify imposing martial law. And there's gonna be, an immense amount of bloodshed out here, man. Okay. All right, and it's gonna be a rude awakening. This time that we're coming in, it's gonna serve as a rude awakening for people that like to sleep, like to be simple. Okay. So it says in 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3, when they shall seek peace and safety, sudden destruction shall fall upon them. So this is St. Matthew 24 and 22 says, "And except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened," because a week nowadays are like 2 days, man. Why? Because it's probably being further fulfilled for the sake of the salvation of the elect of Israel. All right. On behalf of the Lord's love for his people. All right. And further showcasing, his great desire to redeem us from these curses that we're under. Okay. Pursuing Deuteronomy 28 chapter. So this is why this world is crumbling, because it's a part of that paradigm shift the Lord is preparing for the wicked to surrender their rulership, the wicked rulership, all right, at the expense of many lives, all right, through their global quest of dominion, by chipping everyone through that mark of the beast, okay, all right, which is why these wars, which is why this last world's war is, it's required to achieve that satanic NWO, all right. And that's going to further, once again, it's going to further lead into civil unrest, martial law. Okay. All right. And that civil war is going to transition to full-fledged war. Okay. Because these nations are also impacted by these tariffs, and they're going to want to exact vengeance on the whore, America, Babylon the Great. Then Yahweh Shai angels will descend into this realm, and then the salvation of the elect of Israel will commence at that time. So this is all a part of the, proverbial chess moves that the Lord Yahweh by Shemar Shah is making. So let's go back to Proverbs 29 and 12. And it says, "If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked." This lines up with Sirach 10 and 2. Okay. All right. Because, these politicians, are obviously liars, of the Edomites. All right. And, people that, people that follow the satanic council, through, Amalek, through his, lower echelon representatives, such as these politicians and prime ministers and so forth, are fools, because they were preordained to be blinded, to be led into destruction. All right. And let me prove that real quick. Sirach 33 and 10 says, "And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge, the Lord Yahweh by Shemar Shai had divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them had he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified, being the Israelites." All right. That's the term saint is a prefix of sanctify. It goes on to say, "And set near himself, but some of them hath he cursed and brought low." All right. "And turned out of their places." All right. And this is more so talking about Esau. Okay. The people of his cursed to receive judgment in Isaiah 34 and 5 and Sirach 41:10 are the Edomites, the self-proclaimed Caucasian white race whose wicked hands the earth was given into. We know this by the prophecies, all right, including the prophecy on how Esau was to rule through his sword, which is his blessing. And the military-industrial complex is a further extension of his blessing, which is that sword, all right, that he's using to terrorize the world, including Iran. As Trump said, if they don't they don't surrender their nukes, they're going to be met with war. But meanwhile, this devil just carried out a military drill, through the, let me get there real quick. All right, go back to the article on the Kansas City Star entitled U.S. Military Fires Nuclear Missile Test More Powerful Than Anybody. So this further confirms you devils also have nukes, man. Now, this and also confirms that their disingenuous, hypocritical approach to supposedly, being interested in ending, this thermonuclear arms race and the threat of the destruction of the majority of humanity, because they never, when they've been threatening North Korea and Iran, for example, to surrender their nukes, they never, offer to sincerely surrender their nukes. In this missile test, the U.S. Air Force, just recently launched through that Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile test. From the Vandenberg Space Force Base, further confirms that they don't want peace, and that they're provoking these wars, and thus, also orchestrating this economic collapse, which is part of the banking wars. It's all associated, man. Okay, for those who can receive it. All right, through the spirit of prophecy. So this is, let's go back to Sirach. All right. So, so this further confirms that, Esau's created to be destroyed, man. This is why, they who trust in his counsel can also be destroyed. All right. Because he's fighting a losing battle, because his empire is not gonna survive for very much longer. This is Sirach 10:2 says, as a judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So from there, let's get Proverbs. Let's get Proverbs 16:14 in NLT. All right. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 14 in the NLT. All right, and it says, the anger of the king is a deadly threat. The wise will try to appease it. So on the left-hand side, how people try to appease Esau's wrath, striking international deals with them on behalf of these foreign leaders. All right, through these nuclear pacts, such as the JCPOA Iranian nuclear deal that Trump rescinded from in 2018. All right, 2 years prior to him carrying out that attack that eliminated Iran's top general Soleimani. You see that? It's all been orchestrated, man. It's all been conspired behind closed doors. So that, those secret war plans against Yemen that got leaked through that journalist, okay, it further drew a response from Trump denying it, okay, using plausible deniability, which I'm gonna get into in a second. Okay, but it just further confirms that these nations have looked to appease the wrath of this king on the left hand side, the king of Babylon, in Isaiah 14:4, all right, which is Esau, Edom, the king of this golden city, the city of prosperity, all right, the so-called land of the free and home of the brave, and it's really the land of the free and the home of the slaves, because they want to enslave everyone through this chip, all right. This is a part of them. This is part of these trade wars, all right, for contributing to this economic collapse and then presenting a remedy, a solution, which would be in that chip. And this is where Elon comes in. You see, that's all a part of the plan that they say in the world. Trust the freaking plan. You see, this is part of Esau's wrath, him ruling with rigor and furious anger, okay, and folly, okay, because this is a stupid plan, all right, to think that you can chip everyone. Case in point. All right. But nonetheless, these nations have on the left hand side. All right. They've been looking to appease this king on the left hand side through these military deals, through the Iranian nuclear deal. Once again, the JCPOA. All right. International, trade, international, trade deals with him through the petrodollar. Okay, but now, that's a part of them drinking that wine. It's prophesied in Jeremiah 51. These nations will be mad by sobering up off of that proverbial wine, that wine of fornication, including Esau, democracy, his military, his war doctrines. Okay, his war doctrine. Okay, through the military industrial complex, and it's starting to forsake this whore, America, Babylon the Great, and prepare for war. Even America's allies are preparing for war against her, man, such as Canada. See? So I'll read this again, Proverbs 16:14 in the NLT. The anger of the king is a deadly threat. The wise will try to appease it. Okay? All right, on the left-hand side, you've had these, you've had foreign kings, trying to appease it. But really, scripture says, agree with that adversary quickly. So we know we're not in a position to take this devil down. So for example, we appease him by paying our taxes to avoid being apprehended for tax evasion. We wear our damn seatbelts. You know what I'm saying? We navigate the way in which we can, and in wisdom, understanding that this is not our rest. So this is wisdom more so for the elect of Israel to benefit off of. Okay, it's just that to understand that Yahweh Shai is going to be the one to take him down. And now we're further contributing to his downfall by prophesying against him and exposing his wickedness. You see? So this is, grab this quick. Let's go back to Sirach. I'm going to hit the comment board in a second. All right, the water for you, Akim, and your precepts. But this is Sirach 10:4. It says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Okay? All right? Esau is obviously not a profitable king because he's ruling this world in wickedness, all right, through great lasciviousness, covetousness, okay, envy, pride, especially pride and pompousness, okay, witchcraft, okay, through his Western media outlets, control the narratives through falsified lies, okay, little white lies and plausible deniability like Trump. Matter of fact, let me get there real quick. Get his lie that he just spewed about this whole Yemen war plan being leaked. Let's go back to the initial article and bring out that information. So this is, let's go back here. All right, let's jump down. Signal incident. Trump said he has no plans to fire anyone following news that National Security Advisor Michael Waltz added a journalist to a Signal app group chat with senior members of the Trump administration who were discussing plans to strike Houthi militants in Yemen early this month. And this further confirms that they've been targeting Yemen and those other Iranian proxy militants for a reason, because once again, Iran, all right, controls the territorial waters of those shipping lanes where at least 20 to 30% of the world's global oil supply comes from. That's why the Houthis out of Yemen just recently attacked a U.S. warship a few days ago around the Red Sea, all right, for the prophesied in Jeremiah 49:21, okay, in which in terms of where this war is set to take place around, all right, around the Euphrates River, all right, mentioned in Revelation 16:12, all right, the Persian Gulf, all right, and these other dragons of Arabia and their surrounding areas, all right, within an area biblically known as Yahweh Shaphat in Joel, the 3rd chapter, within the so-called Middle East or Western Asia. That's why this conflict is intensifying over there, all right, including the trade wars and the other, provoked wars through Esau's military against those Iranian proxies. Okay, within those areas where a lot of our oil comes from. So it's not a coincidence. So he said, I don't fire people because of fake news and because of witch hunts, Trump said, calling the story fake news throughout the interview. I do. All right, blah, blah. So just jump down. He said, I think it's just a witch hunt and fake news like you talk about it all the time, but it's just a witch hunt and it shouldn't be talked about, Trump added. We had a tremendously successful strike. We struck very hard and very lethal, and nobody wants to talk about that. All they want to talk about is nonsense, is fake news. Well, let's segue over to this article here. Okay. Let's jump down. me see where it's at here. All right, yeah, it's not in this Sirach. It's not in this article. Let me see. Yeah, I believe it's in this one here. So the Houthis, Houthis claim responsibility for strikes against U.S. ships report. Now, let's jump straight down to the point regarding what the White House reported. All right, let me see. The White House has confirmed that the group chat, okay, as in the signal, Trump's, team through that, that group team chat on behalf of Trump's team through that Signal app is what this is referencing. That the White House has confirmed that the group chat appears to be authentic. Okay, they didn't say unauthentic, which further confirms that he's the one lying, man. So you see, he claimed it's lies, it's fake news, it's a witch hunt, and that's typically the coping mechanism that the Esau uses, especially DJT, when they're cornered and exposed for for being for lying and being fraudulent and deceitful. So the White House reported that group chat that leaked the secret war plans of Yemen, okay, was an authentic group chat. There's nothing fraudulent or deceitful about that information being leaked by that journalist. Okay, the White House itself confirmed that group chat meeting through that app was an authentic meeting. So it says, although administration officials, including Hegseth, I believe his name is Peter Hegseth, have sought to downplay concerns and discredit Goldberg as a reporter, and Goldberg was the one that leaked the information. He leaked certain parts of the information. He didn't leak like into the further deep, intricate details. Probably out of fear of his life, but anyway, said yeah, that's pretty much the point. Yeah, and they call the guy garbage, and yeah, it's a red flag, man. It just makes you devils look more guilty. All right, case in point. Anyway, go back to this article, finish it off, the main article. But that's pretty much the point there. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much the point. Yeah, so let's go back to the precept. This is Sirach 10 and 10. It says, a physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. Meaning what? You devils don't know when you don't know when your house is going to come back, man. Let's get this quick precept. What is St. James? I mean, hell, Yahushua doesn't even know when he's going to come back. It is prophesied in St. Matthew, the 24th chapter. This is St. James 4:14. It says, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow, as in tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeared for a little time and then vanisheth away. So nobody knows when they're going to go, man. That's why it's a terrible thing to fall within the hands of living power. That's why it's very paramount to have fear in the Lord. But only that fear and faith go hand in hand, with your spiritual gifts, only given to the only spiritual nation Heavenly Father Yahweh created through His only begotten Son Yahushua, being the Israelites. See, that's why you devils, your rulership is indicative of your lack of fear in the Lord, because you've been justifying and condoning all manners of wickedness, and even and even doing so through your laws and your bylaws, okay? Like making sodomy, legalizing sodomy, when that's a sin punishable by death, but you've legalized it through your politics back in 2015 under the Hamite Obama, case in point. All right? Then he found loopholes within international law to, justify surveillancing the territorial waters of Iran to further provoke them into war, to further target the oil, and thus the Earth's global oil supply, and so forth, by way of your politics, okay, including a policy known as is a term of a policy known as right to passage, that has justified Esau surveillance, territorial waters in Iran, for example, or within those shipping lanes. So, but anyway, you don't know. See, all the wickedness you've done is going to further catch up to you. You know it's coming. That's why Sirach, it's like Revelation 12:12. It says, the devil will come down with great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time. So Yahushua is going to come back and eventually remove you from power. Okay. So that's why little by little you're becoming more blatant with your agenda. Said in Psalm 64:8, their tongues shall befall themselves. So and see in this statement that he made, that DJT made, where he admitted he doesn't care if consumer prices increases due to his tariffs, on behalf of his trade war, his tit for tat trade wars with these foreign nations. Further confirms that Esau the devil, man, at the expense of everyone's lives, he's looking to maintain his rulership, his wicked rulership. So let's segue over to Psalm 109. Bring out a few precepts there. Man, let me get the comment board real quick. And it's Slakia, Tiakim, dropping precepts. No, I know. I'm trying to make this as concise, short and concise as possible. Because I know our people have a short time span, including myself. But yep, brother, I'm right. Put it up. Shalom Tiakim. All right, on the comment board, y'all by Shimon Shabbat. Brother, I'm right. Put Ecclesiastes 10:16. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child and thy princes eat in the morning. That's it. All right. Brother Isaiah put up Isaiah 3:12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err. And they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. Okay, the old ancient paths, mentioned in Jeremiah 16:16. All right, which we're expected to follow to the best of our ability by rehearsing the righteous law, statutes, commandments under this grace period that we've been blessed with through Yahushua's bloodshed for the remission of sins of Israel exclusively. Okay. So within this grace period, we're observing, as the watchmen that we are, as a hopeful elect, watching this devil because he's watching us. Right. So we're supposed to watch him back, man. And I understand what the hell he's doing. Right. This child, this demonic child is doing. He's a part of the children that are oppressors, a part of our oppressors, man, that rules over us. It lines up perfectly with the precept the brother, put on, brother Amariah put up in Ecclesiastes 10:16. So let's go ahead and, let me see. Yep, I brought that one out. Proverbs 29:12. The brother GMS Tazadakda Bani Hawda put up St. Luke 14:31 says, or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulted whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? Because, like case in point, like in an ancient world, kings would, for the most part, like in that movie Troy, for example, before armies would go to war, you would have kings, if they had any sort of nobility in them, they would consult with one another, try to reason one another before they go to war. If there was no consensus or no mutual understanding as to why they should avoid war, then they would commence in warfare. Case in point. But Esau doesn't have that mentality. So let's continue. St. Luke 14:32 says, or else while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassage and desireth conditions of peace. But obviously, Esau doesn't want peace. Biden echoed the same, desire of peace through his inauguration speech, and the DJT the same thing, but the actions prove otherwise because they keep provoking, key allies that are more than highly capable of destroying America, Babylon the Great. All right, reaching this bitch in 20 to 30 minutes, at least 20 to 30 minutes with their hypersonic missiles and ICBM missiles and so forth. Case in point. All right. Yeah, saying at the water for those precepts. I'm going to get back to Psalm. I'm going to get Psalm chapter 109. All right, give me 1 second. About to shot. Turn this pot off. All right. 1 second. Salakia. All right, this is the book of Psalm, chapter 109 and verse 15. And it says, let them be before the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yashai continually. that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. So you devils going to be eradicated as a people, as it says in Obadiah the 18th verse. It says in verse 16, because that he remembered not to shew mercy, but persecuted the poor and needy man, that he might even slay the broken in heart. Because case in point, we're the contrite right now. We're the broken heart of the downtrodden, by way of the curses. Specifically in Deuteronomy 28 and 43, how I prophesied how we would come down very low, the royal priesthood, the true kings, priests, and prophets of the earth. Okay. And the stranger would come above us very high. And the epitome of the stranger is Esau Edom, the most violent, profane of all the heathen. And this, and this lines up with Job 9 and 24. All right, how the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. This is Psalm 109 and just a line back on. It's just to further, expound on my thought. I'll read this again, Psalm 109 and 16, because that he remembered not to shew mercy, but persecuted the poor and needy man, that he might even slay the broken heart. So and that is no exception. In these last days we're living in the midst of these trade wars, that's going to further affect Jake. Living in these impoverished neighborhoods, in the ghettos, the barrios, Indian reservations. You know what I'm saying? They barely have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. All right. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Which the majority of us living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because one of the curses, man. Okay. We don't produce anything because we don't possess a government of our own or military as our own. Meaning what? We're vulnerable at the point of attack. All right. Through Esau's insurrection, prophesied in 2 Ezra 16 to 70 on down. When he pursues the righteous through his military. All right. We don't have a carnal army, if you will, or military, but we have the only military that matters, and that's the angels, the Allahayim, the angels. All right. On behalf of the charge of Yahweh Shai. So as long as we're good with the man, the mediator between us and Heavenly Father, Yahweh, okay, we're good. Okay. That's why we're making our calling election sure, man. Because what this devil is doing is affecting the poor, the contrite, the people under the curses, the Israelites. And he knows that. Okay. Especially Jake's live in these rural neighborhoods, these impoverished rural neighborhoods where, the products that Esau imports inside of the marketplaces are, low quality, bunch of high fructose corn syrup. Okay. All kinds of sugary products in there, and alcohol through the liquor stores that increases inflammation in the body. Low vibrational gas stores around the corner, and that consists of nothing but high fructose corn syrup, sugar, and so forth. Okay. So we're already in a vulnerable position. So these trade wars are really affecting us. Everyone's gonna feel it, but it's really gonna affect Jake. For example, a further reminder that we need Yahweh Shai, man. Which further confirms that salvation not going to come by just solely keeping the law, statutes, commandments. This is Psalm 109 and 17. It says, "As he loved cursing, so let it come into him. As he delighteth not in blessing, so let it be far from him." So this is further part of Esau cursing us, man. Okay, damning us, if you will. But looking to harm us, to make us vulnerable. By making the resources that we have, that much more scarce. By exacerbating them and compromising, the flow of these goods, of these necessities that we rely on. All right. Through the water, through the electricity and the heating supplies. Okay. All right. Through the oil that is exported throughout these various nations. All right. A lot of which, America imports. Case in point. So when the Lord Yahweh Shai allows Esau to pull that plug, that's it. That's going to serve as a reality check for all of our people that trusted in this beast system, man, trusting in modern day Egypt, as it says in Isaiah the 30th to the 31st chapters, trusting in his modern day Pharaoh of the modern day Egyptian Empire, America. Egypt meaning the house of bondage. It is the main place for our captivity. This is Psalm 109 and 18. It says, "As he clothed himself with a cursing like as with his garment, so let it come into his bowels like water and like oil into his bones," right? Because Esau clothes himself with carnality. and he wears it like a garment. All right, that's why he has a violent past. That's how he even acquired various territories and lands, usurping them under Edomite authority, including America through the Spanish Inquisition, and he did it in a very gruesome, sadistic, demonic way. And he's taking a page out of the book and look to rule over these other nations with fierce anger and rigor. And they're not going for it, man. Why? Because they actually have the resources in the military to stand up to the devil, at least in the carnal aspect. And that's going to fail them because they're not Israelites. So that's why they got to fend for themselves against the devil. But it's further confirmed to the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shah is balanced, all right? Because he's really allowed all of them to have rule over us. That's why it's ironic that they're all going to go to war, man. So it's all to destroy them, all right, through their armies. In the aftermath of this destruction, this last world's war is going to be you heathen, especially Edomites, serving us in our righteous kingdom. This is Psalm 109 and 19. It says, "Let it be unto him as a garment which covereth him, and for a girdle wherewith he is girded continually. Let this be the reward of mine adversaries from the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, and of them that speak evil against my soul." All right, that's all you heathen nations, right? Because it says in Deuteronomy 28:68. How no man would buy us, meaning what? No man would redeem us. All right. So, for example, you other heathen nation never came to our aid when Esau was afflicting us and oppressing us. You never offered to stand up and protect us from the devil. So now he's on your ass. Now, Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai is, bidding or bidder of his pit bull, Satan. All right, is being unleashed upon you. And the bidders of Satan are these Edomites, and they're on your nations, man. All right. All right. All you can do is just go to war. All you can do is just retaliate against them. But this as far as it's gonna go. This is Psalm 109 and 21. It says, "But do thou for me, O power, the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, for thy name's sake, because thy mercy is good, deliver thou me." Okay, this is a prayer of the elect. Okay, of King David, representing the elect. And this is a prayer that all of the elect have. Okay, it says in Habakkuk 3 and 2, "In thy wrath, in the day of thy wrath, remember mercy." Roughly paraphrasing. See? You nations obviously will not be spared from the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, man. Because this war is part of that wrath. And that's why we keep hearing about these rumors of wars, through the trade wars and, different war provocation that Esau is indulging in. All right. This further confirms that he just needs to be removed from authority. He needs to be removed from power over this earth. This is Sirach 10 and 14. It said, "The Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai had cast down the thrones of proud princes and set up the meek in their stead." The meek are the Israelites, the lowly. All right. They who are poor, that the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai will make rich by raising them out of the dunghill. All right. This further represents impoverished living conditions, such as the ghettos, barrios, Indian reservations, for example, further identifying who the lost 12 tribes of Israel are. All right. So-called Negroes, indigenous, and Israelite foreigners. And only the elected will be saved in the midst of the Lord's indignation through these plagues, including the greatest of all plagues in this last world war. All right. So I'm going to end it off on that note. Pray his blessings for the edifying his one and two leg. Let me get a couple more precepts off the board and go ahead and end the lesson. So this is the brother GMS Tazadakda Ban Yahweh put up Sirach 14 and 5, and it says, "He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods." Exactly. All right. So Esau's not good to himself, man. He was the one that compromised his relationship with his Edomite counterpart, Russia. Okay. By reneging on the Cold War deal, or around the end of the Cold War in the early to mid 90s, and reneging that deal that they made with Russia to now rescind their territory closer to Russian territory eastward from America through NATO, and they did exactly that, and especially through the Ukraine proxy war. So Russia's done with this horror. They might not explicitly come out and say that. That's why Trump. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. That reminded me this other rumor of war that came out dealing with the U.S. and Russia's relationship we're going to bring this out. Let me see. Yep. So on the Independent, it says, Trump says he's pissed off with Putin over lack of ceasefire deal and threatens more tariffs on Russian oil. So there you go. This devil is going to do something stupid and enough to provoke Russia to eventually carry out the prophecy in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, Isaiah 13 and 17, on down to verse 19. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah 51:11 and so forth. Meaning what? The destruction of America by the hands of Russia, spearheading the destruction within the kings of the armies of this realm, of the heathen, before Yahushua and the angels descended to this realm to destroy those who remain. All right. So very, very, very critical report that the Lord brought back to my remembrance. But this is Sirach 14 and 6. It says, there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. He envies himself, man. This is why, the Esau in America is at odds with Canada, and that's why Canada just cut them off, man. You know, you just heard it, you know what I'm saying, through the current Prime Minister of Canada. He said America's cut off. So obviously that means they're economically cut off. All right. And who knows what else he's talking about, which I can, one can speculate, but, really, they're just a further, omen that these nations are furbishing their swords, as it says in Ezekiel 21 and 9, preparing for war again amongst themselves, especially these Edomites that are divided. All right. This is Sirach 14 and 7. And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. And this is exactly what's happening. He's declaring his wickedness. All right. The brother, son of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai 144, put up Hebrews 12 and 16. Perfect precept ended off on. Says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Okay. There's none more, there's none other demographic of people more profane and vile than Esau Edom. Right. And once again, his rulership is further indicative of his nature, and it's going to further cause his destruction. It's going to further lead into his destruction, because Yahushua said, it's prophesied, that Yahushua will set up a king that's, let's go back there. Sirach. I know I said I was going to end it off, but let's go back to Sirach 10 and 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, not you Edomites. Everything you're doing is by way of you being preordained to do what you're doing. For Yahweh by Shem Yahushai knew every move you were going to make before you even thought of to be created. It says, Sirach 10 and 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Okay. And that's King David. Okay. To rule over Yasharallah in the Holy Kingdom. All right. And under him, the 144,000 elect governing body of the house of David. Okay. Honor Ratazal, myself included, and you Akim tuning in. All right. On down. Or the royal priesthood ruling over you devils, which it says, as prophesied in Micah, the 4th chapter, the nation is going to be glad to serve us because they're not going to have any danger of their lives. Case in point, King Solomon even had his servants decked out. Where the queen of what's her name? The Queen of Sheba came to visit him, and she fainted, man, because she was so in awe of how in order he was in righteousness. How he wasn't afflicting his servants, he wasn't torturing them. You know what I'm saying? Like the devil likes to do. Everything was in order. You see? That's why these nations are looking forward to us coming back into authority. It reminds me of that Ishmaelite woman in Palestine several years ago that was standing with her son, and she said, you know what the problem is? She said, you black people don't know who you are. She said, you are the true children of Yahweh. Now she's obviously going off with the name, but she said, we need you. That's what she said. And it's probably still on YouTube, man. So this further confirms that these nations know who the hell we are. And that's why that's what further justifies their destruction too, because they never stepped in when this devil was afflicting us, man. So before we rule this earth, you nations will go to war, and Trump's trade wars is a further omen of that time to come, a part of these rumors of wars. So I'm going to go end it off on that note. I pray this lesson further edifying his order to elect, and give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom is the God of the living, Yahweh, by Shem, Yahweh Shai, Baruch Badash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this video. To prayers for the edifying, exhorting to the elect. And with that, Abba, soon and very soon. Shalom, Lavachayim, Shal, Bayashara Wadash, Yasharala, meaning peace. to the elect of the house of David of the nation of Israel. All right. And on to the next one.